Good morning, America. The president's pardons, an urgent manhunt intensifies, and the Pacers one win away from the NBA Finals. President Trump set to pardon reality stars Todd and Julie Crisley, serving time for tax evasion and bank fraud. The president called their daughter Savannah with the news and pardoned another convicted tax cheat after his mother attended a $1 million fundraising dinner with Trump. All the fallout this morning.
On edge, authorities expanding the urgent manhunt for the former police chief who escaped from prison, dressed in a fake law enforcement uniform. His victims and their families on alert. Police urging people to lock their doors. We're live on the scene as a search for the convicted killer intensifies.
Crypto kidnapping. The so-called crypto king of Kentucky accused of holding a man captive for 3 weeks and torturing him to get his Bitcoin password as a second suspect turns himself in.
Fiery engine, flames shooting from a United flight as it was about to take off. What the airline is saying about the incident.
Liftoff overnight. The SpaceX Starship failing to complete its mission as Elon Musk gets a little closer in his mission to Mars.
Dramatic testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. His former assistant testified that Combs kidnapped and threatened to kill her, even subjected her to lie detector tests for 5 straight days.
Chilling new video showing the moment the Titan submersible appears to implode with 5 people on board on a mission to the Titanic.
New fees take flight. The latest airline to charge for checked bags. The Points guy joins us live, answering the question, are budget airlines still worth it?
Indiana outpacing the Knicks.
Halliburton weaving, driving, scoring!
Tyrese Halliburton's historic game. Are the Pacers the best around? And this morning, nothing's gonna ever keep us down with these stars here.
I'm not coming to New York.
I will see you in the Big Apple.
That's right, Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio, and the new Karate Kid, Ben Wang, are live in Times Square.
There's 2 of them.
Focus!
Live from Times Square, it's Wednesday. Good morning, America.
We saw folks lining up outside this morning. Good morning, America, because they can't wait, and we can't wait for the stars of the new Karate Kid to be here.
Oh yeah, looking forward to that. Also here we have a warning from the head of Instagram revealing he almost fell for a phishing scam. But we have the red flags you need to watch out for to avoid getting scammed yourself.
I got a whole bunch of phishing emails overnight. All came in.
Oh, you did?
About half a dozen of them all in a row.
And they all look so legit. You got to be aware.
You always do a second guess, yeah.
So we got the red flags for you, and we have the latest on RFK Jr. announcing the new COVID vaccine guidelines, what parents and pregnant women need to know.
We'll get to that in just a moment. First, President Trump wielding his pardon power to reward political supporters and donors. He's set to pardon reality TV stars Todd and Julie Crisley, who've been serving lengthy prison terms for tax evasion and bank fraud. Also pardoned another convicted tax cheat after his mother attended a $1 million fundraiser with Trump. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott has the story. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. And they were reality TV stars who rose to fame by showcasing a life of luxury and glamour. But federal prosecutors say all of that was built on an elaborate scheme to defraud banks to the tune of $30 million, hopping from one scheme to another. That couple could be walking out of prison as early as this morning with the president's pardon. This morning, President Trump set to fully pardon reality TV stars Todd and Julie Crisley after they were convicted of tax evasion and bank fraud. The president calling their daughter Savannah from the Oval Office with the news.
That's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing, but it's a great thing because your parents are going to be free and clean, and I hope we can do it by tomorrow.
The couple made famous by their hit TV show Crisley Knows Best, capturing their glamorous lifestyle and family drama.
Prada is better than Gucci.
Gucci's better than Prada. I don't even know what Prada is.
But federal prosecutors say that empire was built by defrauding banks of more than $30 million, submitting fake bank statements to get loans, then using the money on luxury cars, homes, and clothes. Prosecutors calling the couple career swindlers who made a living by jumping from one fraud scheme to another, lying to banks, stiffing vendors, and evading taxes at every corner. They were indicted in 2019 under the first Trump administration and then convicted. Todd sentenced to 12 years, Julie 7. Their daughter Savannah taking up their case and campaigning for President Trump at the Republican National Convention last year.
Donald J. Trump has only one conviction that matters, and that is his conviction to make America great again.
Overnight, speaking to her Instagram followers.
President Trump didn't just commute their sentences. He gave them a full, unconditional pardon. So for that, I am forever grateful.
The president has repeatedly tapped his presidential pardon powers in office, last month granting a full and unconditional pardon to Paul Walczak. A Florida businessman and nursing home executive, Walczak pleaded guilty to tax crimes last year, with prosecutors arguing that he withheld more than $10 million from his employees' paychecks and used that money to buy luxury items for himself, including a $2 million yacht. According to the New York Times, Walczak's mother has raised millions of dollars for Trump's presidential campaigns and recently attended a major fundraiser at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club where guests paid $1 million to get in the door. Walczak was set to pay $4 million in restitution and serve 18 months in prison before that pardon. On Monday, the president also pardoning Scott Jenkins, a former Virginia sheriff who was sentenced to 10 years on fraud and bribery charges. George, this is all part of a long slew of pardons that the president is now issuing.
No question about that, including, of course, those who perpetrated the violence on January 6th. Meanwhile, on another issue, Rachel, the Health Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has taken pregnant women and infants off of the COVID vaccine schedule.
Yes, Georgia, this is a significant change to the CDC guidelines. So Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is a noted vaccine skeptic, announced on social media that the CDC will no longer be recommending COVID-19 vaccines for healthy children or healthy pregnant women. Now, this catching doctors off guard because it did bypass the traditional CDC process that includes an independent review and also consulting with medical professionals. And this morning it is drawing criticism, including from the leading OBGYN association, ACOG, putting in a statement and a dire warning. It's clear that COVID-19 infection during pregnancy can be catastrophic, George.
Rachel Scott, thanks. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. Overnight, Elon Musk criticizing the president's massive spending bill, said he was disappointed to see it. Let's go to Capitol Hill. Correspondent Jay O'Brien with the latest. Good morning, Jay.
Yeah, Michael, good morning. President Trump has been adamant he wants Republicans united behind his mega bill, full of a laundry list of campaign promises. But one top ally is still not on board this morning, Elon Musk.
Overnight, President Trump's biggest ally coming out against his recent legislative victory.
I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the Doge team is doing.
Billionaire Elon Musk, who pledged to take a step back from politics, slamming the president's bill, which was pushed through the Republican-led House.
I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. My personal opinion.
For days, Musk has hinted at his discontent with the GOP bill, but his latest comments underscoring division within the Republican Party over their own signature legislation. The massive budget bill includes billions to renew construction of the border wall, along with billions more for defense spending and an extension of Trump's 2017 tax cuts, which government estimates find will increase the deficit by nearly $4 trillion over 10 years. But the bill also makes significant cuts, slashing SNAP food assistance and making changes to Medicaid that could lead to more than 8 million Americans losing their insurance, according to early estimates.
Now, Trump's massive legislative package is now in the hands of the Senate, where Republicans are expected to make significant changes and then send it back to the House. So the GOP infighting over this bill is far from over. Robin.
All right, JR, thanks to you for your reporting. We're going to turn now to the manhunt for the former Arkansas police chief and convicted killer who escaped from prison. He is still on the run this morning. Officials are using drones, dogs, and more to search for the man they call a dangerous sociopath. Faith Abube is there in Arkansas for us with the latest. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Robin. Around here, Grant Harden is known as the devil of the Ozarks. According to court documents, he impersonated a prison officer, which made a guard open the gates for him to simply walk out of that facility just 2 minutes from here.
This morning, authorities expanding the urgent manhunt for former police chief Grant Harden, who escaped prison while serving time for rape and murder. The 56-year-old is considered armed and dangerous. Law enforcement agents searching vehicles at multiple checkpoints. This surveillance image showing the ex-police chief leaving the North Central Unit prison in Calico Rock, Arkansas over the weekend, dressed in a fake law enforcement uniform.
there's no type of uniform like that. And so that's one of the things we're looking into, is where exactly did that come from?
I have to, it says I have the right to be silent.
Harden was serving decades in prison after pleading guilty to killing 59-year-old James Appleton. Harden's arrest shown in the investigation Discovery documentary, Devil in the Ozarks.
Being placed under arrest for capital murder.
While behind bars, DNA evidence linking him to the 1997 cold case rape of elementary school teacher Amy Harrison, who spoke out in the project.
I couldn't even say the word rape. I couldn't say the word rape for a long time.
What stands out to me about Mr. Harden is not only the manner in which he committed both of these heinous crimes, but after the attack on Miss Harrison, go for years and years and years, live with that, work in law enforcement.
And officials tell me the rugged terrain in this rural area is hindering part of the search, but it is still an all-out effort, and residents should remain vigilant. George.
Okay, Faith, thanks. We're going to turn now to the cryptocurrency kidnapping. The suspect accused of holding a man for weeks and torturing him to get his Bitcoin password is due in court today, and a second suspect is now in custody. Stephanie Ramos has the story.
This morning, John Waltz, dubbed the Crypto King of Kentucky, is in court facing some serious charges: kidnapping, assault, and criminal possession of a firearm. Just as Waltz heads to court, a second suspect, 32-year-old Swiss crypto investor William Duplessis, has turned himself in.
Why did you do it?
Both are now tied to the disturbing case involving a 28-year-old Italian man who says he was lured to a luxury townhouse in Soho from Italy, then held captive and tortured for 3 weeks, all to get his Bitcoin password. Court documents say the victim, possibly a former business partner, was threatened, stripped of his passport and devices, then beaten, shocked, cut with a saw, and forced to smoke cocaine, even dangled over a staircase. Prosecutors say the victim eventually escaped by tricking Waltz into leaving the room to grab a laptop so he could enter the password, giving the victim just enough time to run. Inside the home, detectives found disturbing evidence: crack, weapons, body armor, Polaroids of the victim with a gun to his head, and blood in multiple rooms. Waltz was arrested Friday, walking out of the same townhouse. He's being held without bail.
The victim was hospitalized with cuts to his face and injuries to his wrist that suggest he was tied up. So far, lawyers for both suspects are not commenting. Michael.
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much for bringing that to us. And we're going to go now to chaos is breaking out at a new aid distribution center in Gaza as people desperate for food swarmed the facility on its first day of operation. Chief International Correspondent James Longman has the story.
This morning, desperation and chaos out of Gaza. Thousands of starving Palestinians descending on this new aid site in Rafah Tuesday. Families there fighting for their first bit of aid in nearly 3 months since Israel imposed its total blockade of the Strip. The UN says at least one person was killed and 47 injured by gunfire. Aid workers not equipped to handle the mass of people, the site overrun by a rush of men, women and children, all on the brink of famine. This young boy trying to scoop up flour from the ground. Many walking miles to get to the site, but forced to leave empty-handed after the stampede. This man tells ABC News, "I'm going home again to hunger and death." Another saying, "I have a 10-member family and only came back with a can of peas." The aid site itself is mired in controversy. It's run by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which is an operation backed by the US and Israel, but it employs private security companies with support from Israeli troops. The UN calls the situation heartbreaking, and they accuse Israel of weaponizing aid to force displacement through this initiative. They call instead for large-scale aid to be delivered directly to people.
Now, Israel says this new system is needed to stop Hamas from looting aid trucks. But Cindy McCain, who runs the World Food Programme, says that is not happening. 8 new distribution centres like this are planned across Gaza, but these events show that perhaps this plan just might not work. Robin?
There is such great need there, as we know. Okay, James, thank you. Now to the launch of the SpaceX Starship rocket, losing control in the latest test flight overnight. Transportation correspondent Gio Benitez is here with more. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, Robin, good morning. Yeah, for the Starship, it's try and try again, because this is a ship meant to take humans farther than ever before. And this testing is critical because it not only has to launch safely, it's got to come back. This morning, a partial success for Elon Musk and the SpaceX Starship program. It's the 9th attempt for Starship, meant to eventually go to Mars, successfully making it to space for a suborbital flight. But about a half hour into the launch, SpaceX losing what's called attitude control, meaning the ship would be spinning out of control back to Earth. The ship burning up as it re-entered the atmosphere over the Indian Ocean. The Starship program has had a series of setbacks. 2 recent attempts ended in explosions that sent debris raining down to Earth. This one in March, ending in disaster after multiple engines shut down. They lost contact with the spacecraft and it exploded. In a recent test, that giant reusable booster that carried the spaceship to space returned to Earth and was caught by those giant chopsticks. This time, the booster meant to splash down in the ocean, but instead exploding on its way down. Meanwhile, overnight, Elon Musk posted on X that this was a big improvement over the last flight. And we should tell you, it is true that each test does get better and better, but there's a lot of work to be done before putting humans on board. And that's why this testing is so critical.
Step by step.
Step by step.
All right, Gio, as always, we got the NBA playoffs with Will Reeve, Indiana. 1 win away from the NBA Finals.
Yeah, and last night was the Tyrese Halliburton game.
Yeah.
What a history-making performance from him for the Pacers. 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 4 steals, and 0 turnovers. That's about as close to perfect as it gets. Halliburton, just the 3rd player in NBA history with 30 points, 15 assists, and 10 rebounds in a playoff game, and that 0 turnovers is just remarkable. Apparently, the Knicks were hogging all the turnovers. They had 17 of them, and now they are on the brink of elimination. Chalamet and Stiller and Spike Lee were courtside, doing what they could to give the Knicks some juice. Jalen Brunson had 31 points, Karl Anthony Towns with 24, but the Pacers win 130-121. If the Knicks are to pull off the comeback in this series, they will have to make franchise history. They have never won a playoff series after going down 3-1. They're 0-15. The Pacers, as a franchise, meanwhile, have never blown a 3-1 lead. So now both conference finals sit at 3-1. Let's see if the Thunder close out the Timberwolves at home tonight, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN.
I think there's a chance.
Okay, then I do too.
No,
It's 3.6%.
There you go. I'm not a math guy. I know the stats, but not the math behind it.
Always a chance. Only 3 teams have done it. 2 of them were Boston. So maybe we can add.
Well, let's make it New York.
And why not?
I don't know. It probably won't happen.
Thank you, Will. Yeah. Coming up, Aaron Katersky's at the courthouse with the latest on the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, George, a former assistant testified Sean Combs kidnapped her on the way to try and kill a romantic rival. Rapper Kid Cudi today, another former employee is prepared to tell the jury what she says Sean Combs forced her to do. We'll have the latest coming up.
All right, also ahead, the head of Instagram with a warning about a scam.
And new at 7:30, flames erupting under a plane's wing just before takeoff. We're going to tell you what happened.
Stay right there. We will be right back on this Wednesday morning.
Wax on, wax off. Breathe in through nose, out the mouth. Wax on, wax off. Don't forget to breathe. Very important. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off.
Hey, where these cars come from?
Wax on. Detroit. Wax on.
Oh, that iconic scene from the original Karate Kid. Can you believe it's been 41 years since that franchise started? 41 years.
Whoa.
Ralph, Jackie Chan, and Ben Wang are starring in the new entry, Karate Kid's Legend. And they're all here in Times Square this morning. That's coming up on our next hour.
We are looking forward to that. First new at 7:30. A San Francisco-bound United Airlines flight was forced to abort takeoff in Beijing after one of its engines caught fire. United said the pilots lost power in one engine while still on the ground and were able to stop the plane and evacuate passengers safely. Also, British authorities say a 53-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder and driving while unfit through drugs after he drove his car into a crowd celebrating Liverpool's Premier League championship. 65 people or so were injured in the incident, including 50 were hospitalized. Police are not treating it as terrorism.
Also this morning, a major recall from a major automaker. Ford recalling more than 1 million vehicles over a rearview camera issue, posing an increased risk for a crash. And take a look at this. Bam! Yes! The hero of the game, Christian Yelich, the Milwaukee Brewers were tied up with the Boston Red Sox in extra innings, but then Yelich walked up to the plate with the bases loaded for his first ever career walk-off home run, and it just happened to be a grand slam. Yeah. Yelich said after the game, quote, "It was a weird feeling going around the bases knowing that the game was over. I've never done that before." Well, congratulations. First time for everything, right?
Yeah,
Great
right.
job.
Congratulations. Now to the Sean Diddy Combs trial. A former assistant testified that Combs kidnapped and threatened to kill her. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky is at the courthouse. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. Federal prosecutors here are trying to show that behind the celebrity facade, Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise, in part by subjecting someone who worked for him to kidnapping. And a former assistant told the jury it happened to her twice. On her first day working as his personal assistant, Capricorn Clark testified Sean Combs threatened to kill her. Years later, she said Combs kidnapped her on his way to try to kill a romantic rival. Combs shook his head and urged his lawyer to object as Clark told the jury he showed up at her apartment early one morning in ripped pants and carrying a gun. Clark testified Combs had just found out Cassie Ventura started dating rapper Kid Cudi and that he was a very upset puff. He just said, "Get dressed. We're going to go kill Kid Cudi." When Clark told him she did not want to go, she testified Combs told her, "I don't give a expletive what you want to do. Go get dressed."
The prosecution must show two underlying predicate crimes, one of which they're trying to show is kidnapping. This is where Capricorn stated that she was taken out of her home by Sean Combs with a gun. He had a gun in his possession the whole time that she was with him, and that she had no choice but to go with them.
On her first day at work in 2004, Clark said Combs took her on a walk in Central Park. She had come to Bad Boy from Death Row Records, founded by Combs' rival Suge Knight. He told me he didn't know that I had anything to do with Suge Knight, and if anything happened, he would have to kill me. Later that year, Clark testified one of Combs' bodyguards, known as Uncle Paulie, forced her into a dilapidated space at Bad Boy headquarters. She said a very wide, very heavy, chain-smoking man then subjected her to lie detector tests for 5 straight days after Combs suspected her of stealing jewelry he wore at one of his swanky white parties in the Hamptons. If she failed the test, Clark recalled the man telling her, "They're going to throw you in the East River." Clark returned to work for Combs several times over the years, including as a creative director for his artist and then girlfriend, Cassie. Clark said Cassie was no Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey, bolstering a defense claim that Combs made certain career choices for Cassie not to coerce her, but because she was not very talented. Another former employee is expected to testify here today, guys, that she was forced into sex acts with Sean Combs as a condition of her employment. Federal prosecutors homing in on aspects of the alleged racketeering conspiracy, now forced labor. Guys?
All right, Aaron, a lot coming out there at that trial. Thank you so much for that. We're going to turn now to a warning from the head of Instagram, sharing that he almost fell for an elaborate phishing scam. Our chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, is here with the details. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Michael. Hey, guys, and imagine this. If they can fool one of the biggest companies, the guy who runs one of the biggest companies in the world, imagine what it means for the rest of us. Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram, says on Threads that he was nearly duped when he got a call from a California area code. The caller claimed Mosseri's Google account had been compromised. Shortly after, Mosseri received what looked like a legitimate email from a Google address, followed by a link to a form asking him to confirm his identity. The scammer then urged him to change his password using the Gmail app, and Mosseri says the email and the site, they both looked like they came from secure Google domains. Mosseri says he would have fallen for it if not for a friend who experienced a nearly identical scam last year. Mosseri's post on Threads has sparked a lot of interest, including from Google, which is reminding users this morning that Google will never call you about your account. Google telling ABC News in a statement, "We've deployed numerous protections to keep users safe from this specific attacker and similar phishing methods." Google is also strongly encouraging users to adopt two-factor authentication and passkeys. So these two-factor authentications, passkeys, they can be a nuisance, right?
Sure.
But they actually do protect you.
Okay, so tell us more of what people can do to protect themselves and to spot.
Yeah, so
scams.
Robin, there's some really big red flags here. The number one thing is urgency. If that caller or that email is saying you gotta act now, that pressure to share personal information or act quickly, that is a sign of a scammer. And then the details. You must pay attention to the details. Scammers are super sophisticated at making those domains look recognizable. So always double check the domain. And before you respond to something, whether it's a phone call or an email, just call the company back directly. That is your best bet. You go to their site, you get their official number, and you make the call.
And let me tell, because I fell for this. So you have caller ID, and the number came over, like, okay, this is it. What
exactly.
I should have hung up and called the number myself.
Yes.
Because just because the number comes across doesn't mean it's the legit
They
number.
can spoof that.
Wow.
They make it look like they're calling you from a place that they're not actually calling you from.
I know. All right. So that's my little tip.
Wax on, wax off. When in doubt.
Hey, Rebecca, thank you. Coming up, breaking at 8, the latest in the Karen Reed murder retrial. The defense about to present its case. And Southwest Airlines making a big change to its baggage policy. We're going to ask, you know who we brought in, the points guy right there, Brian Kelly, if budget airlines are still worth it. That's next. We are back now with a big change from Southwest Airlines. The end of free checked bags starting today. It'll cost you $35 for the first bag, $45 for the second. Here to talk about the rising tide of airline fees is our guy, the points guy, Brian Kelly. So let's break this on down.
Free lunch is over.
Oh, it's over. It's over. Southwest has joined so many who are now going to charge for checked bags. And this is in addition to already other fees that these low budget airlines are putting on. So the question is it still worth to fly them?
Yeah, so I mean, all airlines are adding fees. That's how the airlines are making money these days. Last year, over $7 billion in fees. And investors are aiming, they say Southwest could make over $1 billion just in this baggage fee this year. So, but it's not just low-cost airlines that have these fees. All the major airlines have it, and get this, they're even adding fees in business class and first class. Certain airlines now will charge you $100. Imagine this, you've spent $7,000 on a business class ticket, and now there's still, some airlines are adding fees just to choose a seat in business class. So fees are here to stay, and it's important to know how to hopefully get around them.
You say they're here to stay, they're not going away?
They're not going anywhere because, you know, the airlines have merged. There's not choice. Consumers are looking and say, well, if you don't want to fly Southwest, every other airline is charging the same fees. So what I recommend to people is just choose the airline that has the best on-time performance. You know, Delta consistently comes in as the most on-time airline because if you're going to pay these fees, you might as well get to where you're going on time. If you don't live in a Delta city, though, I always recommend just choose nonstop, get there the quickest. But if you're going to pay these fees, know that, you know, with checked bags, if your bags get there late, you know, 12 hours late, the airline now, due to new DOT rules, they have to refund you. Same thing, if you're paying for internet fees on a plane and that internet's slow, dispute it. Immediately just send a 30-second email and you'll get that $20 back.
Real fast.
You know, that's my message to consumers. Just because you have to pay these fees, if they don't deliver on what they're charging you for, like with resort fees, a lot of hotels, you check there and now, you know, there's $100 a day to use a pool. Well, obviously that's why I went to the hotel. But, you know, if you couldn't get towels or anything, always ask to have the fees taken off. You'd be shocked at how often they'll just take them off.
But as you said, even with these new baggage fees, could be $1 billion they could make. So it's just basically just adding for profit. But with that being said, and people need to get where they need to get, is there a point when the passenger may go, enough is enough?
Unfortunately, there's just, you know, passengers want to travel. This past weekend, we saw the third busiest travel day ever. And I will say one bit of relief is that airfares have not risen dramatically. This summer, we're actually seeing about an 8% drop. So at least we're not seeing crazy increases in airfare. But I recommended people, you know, with Southwest, if you were to still check 2 bags, that's $160 round trip. Getting an airline co-brand credit card can come with a huge sign-up bonus, and almost all the airlines now have free checked bags as part of that, unlimited all year long. So if you're flying even once a year round trip, getting, you know, or if you fly multiple times with the same carrier, getting that co-brand card that gives you those free checked bags, priority boarding, that can make your life a lot easier, and it's much cheaper than actually paying for those fees outright.
That is something really to keep in mind. What else can they charge us for extra? I mean, what
Don't
else?
ask.
What else is left?
Robin, now that you ask, we actually saw a seat design recently for standing room only on planes. Can you believe that?
I had to ask.
It's like a bike saddle that it somewhat supports your core. This is real. I thought this was April Fool's Day when I saw it. This was unveiled at the Airline Interiors Expo in Germany, which is very respected. And they could fit even more people on the plane. You know, this is for flights under 2 hours, but There's never a flight under 2 hours because in New York you're waiting on the runway for an hour each way.
At least that way. Do you see Will Reeve over there? He's got the biggest smile on his face.
You can't even tell
about
people to sit anymore with those seats.
Ryanair, the CEO of Ryanair years ago even said he wants to charge one euro to use the lavatory. But I think that's where we draw the line.
Wow. Another play today. You gave us a nice sell.
I sure did, I guess. Are you familiar with the LSU Shreveport Pilots? No.
I am now.
Well, they do one thing really well, win, and they don't lose. They are currently
no matter what.
No matter what. They're in the NAIA World Series. They beat the defending champs, Hope International, 6-3.
Oh.
That continues their historic perfect record. They're 56-0.
Whoa.
Wow.
It's the longest ever winning streak for a 4-year college baseball program. So how do they win all these games? What's the secret sauce? Well, the team revealed superstitions that play a part. Take a look.
I like to have milk and cookies every night before I start, so I just keep eating my milk and cookies every night. I always play with gum and always double bubble gum, and the funny thing, they always make fun of me, but I don't mind. I keep the same piece of gum in, so I lose flavor after BP.
Yeah, so the same piece of gum is his superstition. Do you have any superstition?
He
just keeps chewing it until it's
No, just not the same piece every game. He changes it.
Yeah, he sticks it on his hat.
I thought it was every game.
I know, I did too. I was like, okay.
We'll do some reporting on that. Do you guys have superstitions? Any?
I don't think so.
I have one. I have to drink the coffee from the pantry here as the show goes on.
Oh, you got a tough gut.
I do.
That's a superstition?
A ritual.
I have one. I look at my socks, again, like when I play football, and each one would go, I feel like I should be on the right foot, and the other one goes, yeah, I'll go to the left.
Oh, like you have an interaction with your socks?
Yeah, of course. Talk to my socks.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Wow, that's something.
What's wrong with you guys? That's normal.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. President Trump set to pardon reality stars Todd and Julie Crisley, serving time for tax evasion and bank fraud. The president called their daughter Savannah with the news and pardoned another convicted tax cheat after his mother attended $1 million fundraising dinner with Trump. All the fallout this morning.
Moms and mental health. The new report that says mothers are struggling more than ever. What's behind it and what moms can do to take care of themselves.
Ed Sheeran is ready to play. Teasing another song from his highly anticipated new album. And what does kids think about this one? We're putting a little sizzle in your morning, celebrating National Hamburger Day. Burning up with our GMA Burger Bash, Chefs Joe Isidori and Tiffany Derry are here. And they're saying,
Good morning, America!
Live from Times Square, it's Wednesday. Good morning, America.
Happy National Hamburger Day. Who knew?
Did you ever think you'd say that?
No, I never thought I would say that, especially here on GMA, but it is. It's happening.
Yes.
Yep, crew's happy. They get to eat some hamburgers today. It's going to be great. Also, here, Lori Bergamotto is here with the right fit, showing us the shorts that are on trend for summer.
Plus, we have a first look at a documentary about an icon, our dear Barbara Walters.
Yeah, looking forward to that. First look at the top stories breaking at 8. We start with President Trump wielding his pardon power to reward political supporters and donors. He's set to pardon reality TV stars Todd and Julie Crisley, who've been serving lengthy prison terms for tax evasion and bank fraud. Also pardoned another convicted tax cheat after his mother attended $1 million fundraiser with Trump. I want to go back to our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you again. And they were reality TV stars who rose to fame by showcasing a life of glamour and luxury. But federal prosecutors say that all of that was built on a lie, an elaborate scheme to defraud banks to the tune of more than $30 million, bouncing from one scheme to the next. And that couple could be walking out of prison as early as today with the president's full pardon. The couple, Todd and Julie Crisley, were made famous by their hit TV show Crisley Knows Best. But federal prosecutors called the couple career swindlers who made a living by lying to banks, stiffing vendors, and evading taxes at every corner. Their daughter Savannah taking up their case campaigning for President Trump at the RNC last year. Last month, the president also issuing a pardon for Paul Walzak, a Florida businessman who pled guilty to tax crimes. Prosecutors say he withheld more than $10 million from his employees and used that money to buy luxury items for himself, including a $2 million yacht. His mother reportedly raising millions of dollars for the president's presidential campaign and also attending $1 million fundraiser dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Michael.
All right, Rachel, thank you so much for that. We're going to turn now to the defense, preparing to make their case in the Karen Reed murder trial after prosecution is expected to wrap up with dramatic testimony from an expert in accident reconstruction. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman has more for us. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Michael. This expert is expected to be the final prosecution witness in this case, and they hope that this accident reconstruction expert can finally slam the door shut on the allegations of conspiracy and police cover-up that Karen Reed's case has largely been built on.
This morning, the prosecution's final listed witness back on the stand, Dr. Judson Welcher, an accident reconstruction expert using video and graphics to recreate what could be the key to the case, the moment Karen Reed is alleged to have reversed into her Boston police officer boyfriend with her Lexus SUV.
You can still see that it's still at 74% throttle. So, this is 3/4 of full throttle in reverse.
Welcher basing his work on the Lexus's version of a data recorder. And later, using that blue paint, Welcher, who is roughly the same size as O'Keefe was, also demonstrating how the SUV might have caused the cuts to O'Keefe's arms and face.
The approximate location of the fractures in the taillight match up with the approximate location of the contact of the arm.
It's an explanation aimed at shutting down allegations by the defense that O'Keefe might have been beaten up at that house on Fairview Road and then attacked by a dog. The defense has also maintained that Reed's busted taillight was caused by this collision with O'Keefe's SUV at his house, caught on surveillance camera early that morning. Welcher disputing that.
That impact did not break or crack that taillight.
Reed not impressed with Welcher's testimony.
I think it's important to demonstrate what is the Commonwealth accusing me of. The speed, the positioning, recreate that for us. Back up into the crash test dummy at 24.2 miles an hour in the arm and see what happens.
And expect Welcher to be ferociously cross-examined today, including about his professionalism today. Karen Reed also saying that she is eager to get her defense going, saying that it'll be much more rigorous than it was last year, and saying she wants the public to know what she and her team know. Robin.
Matt, thanks to you. Now we have a GMA Health Alert. A new study finds a steep drop in how moms are rating their own mental and physical health, raising new concerns about the pressures many parents are facing. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Tara Narula, is going to break it down for us. So the researchers found that 1 in 12 mothers, both biological and adoptive, were saying they were having these challenges. And this slide happened before the pandemic. So is there a reason here?
Yeah, this is so important. So for any moms out there right now, put your coffee down and take a listen. This was a survey of 200,000 moms who were basically mothers to kids 0 to 17 years old from 2016 to 2023. They asked them about their physical health and mental health. And most of them reported some decline in their physical health. But what was really astounding is what you said, that there was a large proportion that noted a drop in their mental health over that time period. Those who had reported excellent mental health, that number dropped by about 12 percentage points over the time frame. And those who had reported poor or fair mental health, that number increased by about 3.5%. So what is going on here? We know that in August of 2024, the former Surgeon General Vivek Murthy released an advisory saying that parents are under pressure, that parental mental well-being and health is a crisis in this country that needs immediate attention. In addition to that, let's talk about the fact that maternal mental health is the leading cause of maternal mortality after pregnancy. 23% of women are dying in this country from maternal mental health conditions. So the landscape here is probably 3 issues really going on. One is we have a lack of access to mental health care. I have patients telling me they're waiting months to see somebody in a therapy office. The cost is really prohibitive for many, and it's just hard to get attached or connected with someone. The second issue, we don't invest in women's health in this country. I work at a hospital system where we have at the Katz Institute for Women's Health. That should be the norm everywhere, where we're studying, researching, understanding women and their health conditions, not the exception. And the third issue, which is really when you look at what women are juggling, so financial pressures, worrying about their kids' physical and mental health, taking care of their kids and elderly parents and their jobs, navigating this new world of social media and tech, maybe feeling socially isolated and alone. You put that all together, and it is just the perfect storm. No wonder we have a mental health crisis.
I'm so glad we're talking about this, and not just about the physical aspects, but the mental aspects and how you can have this conversation now. So women who are feeling like they're just so overwhelmed right now? What can they do to protect their mental well-being?
Yeah, and it's not just about women. Obviously, we worry about the effects on the moms, their physical and mental health, but there is a ripple effect on children, right? So the mother's mental health affects the development, the physical and emotional health of the child. So it is important that women prioritize their mental health, right? So we talk about putting on the oxygen mask in the airplane. This is so important. We have to get rid of the mom guilt. So I hear so many women, myself included, who say, I can't take an hour out of my day away from my kids to do things like exercise or take a walk or focus on my sleep or maybe meet with friends because we feel guilty, right? That has to move up on our priority list. We think about boundaries. We have to set boundaries. We can't say yes to everything. And finally, self-love and compassion and grace, right? We are not forgiving of ourselves. We can't be at every game. We can't make everything right all the time. We fail sometimes as parents. And guess what? That's okay. Our kids need to see that we're not perfect either.
We need to do more on this.
Yeah,
we've got to do more.
Yeah, we need to continue this because we talk a lot now about, postpartum depression.
Right.
We don't talk about all the years afterwards.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Arilla. Appreciate that so much. Wow.
Coming up on our GMA Morning Menu, Ed Sheeran's teasing new single from his upcoming album, Play. And Will Review has more on that coming up in Pop News.
Also this morning, Felicity Huffman is here telling us about her new movie and more.
Plus, get ready to wax on with the stars of the new Karate Kid movie, Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio, and Ben Wong. And we're having a burger bash, everybody. Chefs Joe Isidori and Tiffany Derry are helping us celebrate National Hamburger Day. That's all coming up right here on GMA.
It's like a pit crew that comes in here.
Yeah.
Zip, zip, zip.
Well, we kind of need it.
I got to put on these shoes.
The stuff that happens in a commercial break, if you can only see it. But we are back now with our GMA coverage story. The chilling new video in the Titan submersible implosion that killed 5 people on their way to the Titanic wreckage in 2023. It comes from a new docuseries shedding new light on the tragedy. Our Eva Pilgrim is here with the story. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Michael. When the Titan went silent deep in the ocean, it was an all-out search in the Atlantic for 4 days, ending with news that it had catastrophically imploded. Now, a new look at those last moments as experts examine what went wrong. This morning, new footage showing the moment the Titan submersible appears to implode on a mission to the Titanic with 5 people on board.
Approximately in 5 seconds, you will hear the bang.
Yeah. Should be about 500 meters.
Yeah.
What was that bang?
Hearing that bang, Wendy Rush, the wife of Stockton Rush, the OceanGate CEO who was leading the mission in June 2023.
The message actually comes in after they heard the noise of what could possibly have been the implosion noise.
It appears that she thinks something happened, or she senses something.
This footage, part of a new Discovery docuseries that traces the failed expedition, revealing new details about what went wrong. Adventurer Josh Gates was invited to take the Titan on a test mission in 2021.
And so when you climbed inside of it and they close that door, they seal you in from the outside.
Okay, the door is closed. Now what's happening to it?
They're bolting it in.
We're sealed up.
You are a prisoner. My prisoner.
Stockton just didn't see, even psychologically, the need for a way out of this sub.
Bolted in shut, the submersible heads underwater. You can see how tight the quarters are. Gates says they were in there for hours and multiple things didn't work.
It had never done any emergency docking procedures. Nothing really worked right. Nothing.
Well, I'm having trouble with our port horizontal thruster.
Okay.
Don't know why, because this is starboards that we changed.
Now this guy will be down at Titanic too, right?
Yeah. Yep. They have an emergency override on the VBT in case we have a software problem. Can you copy? The motor doesn't even seem to be moving.
Gates says they were forced to abandon that test dive, but that same OceanGate submersible would later carry 5 people on that ill-fated mission.
And in the hearings that followed this tragedy, former employees came forward claiming there were more than 100 equipment issues in the past several years. Implosion, the Titanic sub disaster, premieres tonight on Discovery. George.
Well, it's chilling. Okay, but thanks very much. Switch gears. How about some pop news?
Let's do that. And speaking of switching gears, George, that's where we're going to start. We're going to begin with the race to the premiere of F1. This morning, GQ revealed that Brad Pitt, Lewis Hamilton, and Damson Idris are their summer issue cover stars. And inside, Pitt tells the magazine that because he was the person actually driving the cars at top speeds, who does he think he is, Michael Strahan? Insurance companies were giving them a hard time about how fast he was allowed to go, but they worked it all out. Meanwhile, F1, the movie, gave real-life F1 drivers an exclusive first look at the film during the Monaco Grand Prix last week, and they're waving the checkered flag. They're giving the movie great reviews. F1 hits theaters in just about a month, June 27th.
Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, me too.
That'll be
Can't
and
wait.
they filmed at actual F1 races.
I was at the Hungarian Grand Prix and they were filming it, and every time you had a break, you see Brad Pitt, or whoever it was, zooming down. Yeah, it was cool.
That
And the
sounds
camera
very
above,
cool.
it was really cool.
Thanks for the invite. Next up, though, new music. New music courtesy of Ed Sheeran, the singer teasing a new single from his upcoming 8th studio album, Play. This one is called Sapphire. Take a listen. That sounds like kind of a banger. Ed posting that video to Instagram, writing, "Riding around the streets of India, missing high fives. Sapphire out June 5th. Apparently, Sapphire is his kid's favorite. Ed says they even choose it over Moana. Come on. Moana, there's nothing better than Moana around these parts. Sometimes that is quite the compliment, though. So is this a late entry for Song of the Summer? We will find out. How's it a late entry? Summer's just started. But anyway, we will find out June 5th. Then Play drops on September 12th.
But every time. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just love how he does his own commentary.
I know. It's like he has these thoughts in his brain that come out in the middle of the
I need to
copy.
work on a filter.
No, it's great. It's great.
All right, well, we will carry on. I'm not going to change a thing. But now we have a tribute for a legend, Barbara Walters, the Television Academy Hall of Fame honoree, Emmy and Peabody winning journalist, and ABC News anchor, is the subject of a documentary celebrating her life and legacy. It's called Barbara Walters, Tell Me Everything. It examines her groundbreaking career and her pivotal role in the history of journalism and just history generally. And it's a big morning here. If we could get a drum roll, please, because this right now is the debut of the official trailer.
Sitting down with Barbara Walters.
I'm just a normal kid.
Oh, Eric, you're a normal kid who killed your parents.
No one ever got out totally unscathed.
She asked the question that nobody else had asked.
I know you don't want to talk about guys, and I won't push it, but how are you going to find anybody? You don't really act. You don't sing. You don't dance. You don't have any, forgive me, any talent.
And asked it in a way that always hit a nerve.
Why the tears now, Oprah? Have speed? I was never beautiful. If I'd been a dog, maybe they wouldn't have put me on television. But, nobody ever put me on because I was beautiful or glamorous.
She was fearless, and sometimes she got under people's skin.
Ever do drugs in front of your child? Oh, my God. What a question.
She could talk to anyone.
Why didn't you have your nose fixed?
About anything.
Are you bisexual?
She had a vision that celebrities are news, and she turned out to be right. They were newsmakers.
Never say I made mistakes.
Barbara, I
you
make
haven't
mistakes.
said it.
I make mistakes. Everybody
people
makes
don't think you show any humility.
You're surrounded by beautiful flowers. The lighting is perfect. And then suddenly she would just throw a hardball out of nowhere.
Martha, why do so many people hate you?
Each and every one of us has people that love us and people that hate us.
No, not everybody has people who hate them. Are you sorry you didn't burn the tapes? Did you ever order anyone killed? No. Please, do not interrupt me. I don't care if I'm shiny. I care more about this interview.
Whether it was her looks or her voice, just the fact that she was a woman, there were people that just didn't believe in her. And she loved proving them wrong.
Okay, let's go.
Her job was the love of her life.
But are you afraid of showing emotions?
There's certain things I just don't enjoy sharing. What's there to know?
You would drive me nuts, and I would drive you crazy because I would be saying, but you know.
Well, we could try it and see if it worked out.
I think we'll stop and reload.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you one of America's top news correspondents whose provocative interviews have riveted television viewers. Would you welcome Barbara Walters?
How about that?
Awesome.
Boy, I'd never seen that Clint Eastwood moment. It's the only time I ever saw Barbara Walters blush.
And it has to reset. You see it with her.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah,
June 23rd, that documentary, Barbara Walters, Tell Me Everything, premieres on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. Can't wait.
Can't wait. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Now to our series, The Right Fit. We had the right stuff, now we got the right fit. As we get ready for summer, this morning it's all about shorts and breaking down which style is right for you. It's our GMA lifestyle contributor, Lori Bergamato, and you've got all the looks, and you're wearing one of the trends right now.
I am. So the trends are Bermuda shorts, they are denim shorts, and cargo shorts, but the surge that's up 65% this year is office shorts. So let me show you what I wore to the office today, Robin.
Sure.
These are from Spanx, a higher rise. I really love them, and what people are talking about is this pocket I'm going to show you here. It's a little zipper. So it's really streamlined because a lot of us have to get those pockets sewn in. They just look unflattering, right? But these from Spanx, they have built-in smoothing panels. I can't say enough good things. I'm really obsessed.
Feels good.
Feels great. And if you're petite like me, you want a 5 to 7 inch inseam to make your legs look a little longer.
Yeah, and it looks professional. I have to say, I can see you going to the office like that.
Thank you. Well, here I am.
All right. you are at the office.
I'm here.
Okay, you're modeling for us. We have other models. We have Tabitha, the classic denim short. Hey, Tabitha.
Yes. So like I said, denim shorts aren't going anywhere. And you know, we all love a good Americana classic, and it's these denim shorts. In terms of fit, if you have curves, and so many of us do, what you want is a contoured waistband. So nothing that's too tight here. You're looking for room in the seat. You want it to hit at mid-thigh, and you want to just make sure that there's no riding up, because that's what's going to look unflattering. These are from Madewell, and they are made for an hourglass figure.
Okay.
Now,
Molly, is that it? Molly?
Yep, Molly.
Yes.
So we have Molly next. And these, she's wearing the Bermuda short. They have a bit of an A-line silhouette, which is also really trendy. These are from H&M. The key with pulling this off is you want them about 1 to 2 inches above the knee. You never want it to hit at the knee. That's what's going to make it look stumpy. And at a $30 price tag, these are a great way to road test this Bermuda short trend.
And then we have Marissa here.
Okay, and
the cargo
Marissa,
short?
The cargo short. Robin, searches for cargo shorts are up 45%. These are from The Gap. Here's what's different. It's a twill, lightweight fabric, so you don't get that bulk. It just moves flexibly with your body. A drawstring waist. It's all about the fit of the waist. And the pocket placement. She's got these angled pockets here. And even though she has cargo pockets here, they have a tie hem on the bottom. So you're getting more of a sleek, streamlined look, because we were in the 90s. We remember when there were bulky cargo shorts. That is not what they are now, and it looks great. You can get those at The Gap.
You all three look great. You all four look great.
Oh, well, thanks, Robin.
I feel overdressed right now. And we can get all of these. They're shoppable on our website, okay? Felicity Huffman is here live on GMA, so come on back. Thank you, ladies, very much.
Thank you.
You need to leave now. Fine. Don't worry. Even though I'd like to, I'm not going to make some big, ugly scene.
Oh, how we love that show. And back with us is one of our favorite Desperate Housewives. Please welcome Felicity Huffman to GMA. She's got a brand new project. It is called The 13th Wife, Escaping Polygamy. We hear it is a must-watch. So tell us about this project.
Well, it's ripped from the headlines, as they say, and it's the story of Rena Chenoweth, who is an extraordinary woman. She went from victim to villain to vigilante. It's a polygamous cult, and I think when she was 16, she was married to someone who's about 30, 40 years older than her. And it was a man called Ervil LeBaron who believed in blood atonement, which means basically murder. So she was wrapped up in that world, which is very hard for women and children to escape, and she ended up committing murder.
Wow.
I know. And then, you guys, I know, like that's not enough.
But wait, there's more?
And then 13 years later, after she was acquitted and she had a quiet life and it was all behind her, she wrote a book confessing everything. So you can tell that, you know, it haunts her, and the survivor's guilt is incredible, and it's a fascinating story.
Yeah, even years, like you said, committed murder, years after her escape, she was still asking herself if she is a monster. Or is she?
Yeah, is she or was she a monster is a complex question, and I think that's what we investigate in storytelling. I mean, are you the hero or are you the villain? And I don't think she even knows that now. I mean, you have to live with the fact that, one, you committed murder, and two, everyone she knew and loved was killed because of this man, Ervil LeBaron, who they believed was the voice of God. Wow. I know.
Let's take a look at a clip.
Well, how could they not? I mean, we were told we were the chosen ones. We were called up to Zion. We were the ones that were going to usher in God's kingdom, giving up everything. I mean, we gave up everything. It made us closer to God.
Powerful pull right there. So this is a 2-movie event. You guys shot it in what it seems like record time.
Oh my goodness. Michael Nankin, who directed it, directed 2 movies in 27 days. And then Amy Hartwick and Brad Cravoy, who produced it. It's kind of the magic of theater or film that you go, it just kind of worked out. I mean, 27 days for 2 movies.
Wow. That's intense.
Yeah. Eric Johnson's in it, Olga Petska. It's amazing. It was a Herculean effort.
I cannot wait to watch it. I cannot wait. Can I ask you about Desperate Housewives, the reboot?
Sure.
Because Kerry Washington, we know that her production company has signed on for that. A lot of people, a lot of excitement around
Isn't that great? They're going to do Wisteria Lane with women of color, and I am all for it. I'm going to do craft service for it. But I just think it's wonderful, and I'm a huge fan of Kerry's.
And who would you like to see play your role if there's anyone out there?
Oh my God, I have no idea. I think a lot of people could do it better than I did.
No.
So I can't wait to see it.
So you and your husband, William Macy, celebrating an anniversary this fall. What does this I hear about him becoming a rock star?
I know, right? His 3rd act, he's becoming a rock star. He plays the ukulele. He plays all over town. He plays at this place in Aspen called Takaw. Oh, there he is. Look at that. And he writes these great songs. He just played in Nashville, for God's sakes. And he has this tent right by this beautiful garden. So he goes and plays music in the tent, and then he gardens. And
that's a Renaissance man.
Sounds pretty serene.
I know it is. I'm in the kitchen drinking wine, but
as we would expect the Desperate Housewives to do.
That's right.
Felicity, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your talents with us. We really
that's very
appreciate
kind
that.
of you. Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Absolutely. And you got to know this: the 13th Wife, Escaping Polygamy, is a 2-night movie event premiering Saturday and Sunday, 7 p.m. Central on Lifetime.
The new with a movie Karate Kid fans like myself have been waiting for a long time. Karate Kid Legends is about to hit theaters. Let's take a look.
Hey, everything is a kung fu.
Yeah, well, no. What happened to 2 branches, 1 tree?
One branch stronger than the other.
In the Legends, Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio are here with the brand new Karate Kid himself, Ben Wong. Yeah. Yes. Now that was fun to watch, because that was what they call it, a friendly fight moment, Jackie. So I'm curious for you, what was it like training for this movie? Was it like riding a bike? Just right back to
I don't need the training anymore. I mean, believe it or not, this year I'm 64 years in the film industry. All my life on the set, training, all kind of things. And he need to train.
You do, Ben, because you're the new Karate Kid. Congratulations, the first Asian American Karate Kid. You play your character's name is Lee. He has a lot of similarities to you in real life, I heard.
Yeah, that's true.
Like what?
Yeah, well, he's a kid from Beijing who goes to New York with his single mother. That's basically my story. I was born in Beijing. I grew up a little bit there, and then I came to the States with my mom, and now I live in New York. So I follow that. I follow that path.
You follow that path, and now you're on the big screen with these two legends.
He's killing it.
And Ralph, 41 years.
What, that's me saying my age out loud again, Michael?
No. The movie's 41 years. I didn't say your age.
I passed that up a little bit.
But you know, the amazing thing is, though, I mean, this 41 years, and this still has the same amount of interest and legs that it had at the beginning. Did you ever imagine that?
I would love to say it was all part of my big plan. But, all right, I figured it out way back. You know what, though, that movie launched and worked on a human level. I always say that. It really connected in that way. We were all that kid, whether it was the fish out of water element, whether it's mentorship, whether it's being the best version of yourself, being a new kid in a new city, all those elements people can relate to. And it was just a really terrific film, and the wonderful Pat Morita was the soulful magic of the whole thing. And then here we are with a new story, a fresh take, another ecosystem in the grand universe of the Karate Kid. It's been beyond, and I'm very grateful, and I don't take it for granted. It's awesome.
Oh, no doubt. And you said Ben was able to jump right in.
Jump right in. I mean, yeah, I mean, try to keep up, you know. Jackie doesn't need to train, Ben needs to train, and I certainly needed to do injury prevention training the best that I could. Yeah, no, he took the reins, and it's really, I'm super, super proud of the work and his preparedness from the martial arts aspect, from the acting aspect, and, you know, you need, in the Karate Kid, you need a kid you're rooting for, and we have him, and I'm excited for the world to see that.
And Ben, you said watching Jackie in the film in 2010 that made you get into martial arts.
Yeah.
So what is it like knowing 2010 you're watching them and now you're in this movie with them? What's it like working with them now?
It's weird. I've known these people, you know, they've been in my head, you know, as long as I've had memories of watching movies. So this is like, it's like working with Santa Claus twice.
That's a great line.
Santa Claus twice. I like that. I really like that. And Jackie, I know you were at the Toronto International Film Festival, and you had a little surprise. Chris Tucker
showed up.
He showed up. Your guy Chris. He's such a good guy. I love Chris.
Yes.
Is there any chance that we could see another Rush Hour movie?
Yes. We wait for the studio. We wait for the script. We wait for the director. I wait for Chris Tucker. Hurry up. Before we get 100 years old.
Well, you blew me away when you said you've been in, what, 64 years?
In the film industry, all the child actor, stuntman, stunt coordinator, director, all those years.
You've done it all.
Yeah.
You look great. All of you look great, man.
Thanks.
Honestly. I'm happy you're all here. Ben, congratulations.
Thank
you. You're the envy of a lot of people, including me. I wish I was a little younger. I'd give you a run for your money,
That's right,
buddy.
you would.
But you know what, everybody? You're going to love it. Karate Kid Legends is in theater on Friday. Thank all three of you for being here. Really looking forward to this.
We are celebrating National Hamburger Day. We've been waiting for this for 24 hours. This is a GMA Burger Bash right here in Times Square. Americans eat an estimated 50 billion, that is with a B, burgers every year. It's a lot of
And
burgers.
you can add 2 more to that number right here, because we have 2 amazing chefs with us to make their best burgers. We've got the chef and owner of Arthur & Sons, that's Joe Isidori. Woo! And chef, restaurateur, and judge on MasterChef, Tiffany Derry.
Yes,
Welcome to both of you. Thank you so much. It smells amazing.
It sure does. Joe, tell us, you're making a steakhouse burger?
Well, you know, steakhouse burger. I'm not a fancy guy, but today I figured I'd be a little bit more fancy with it. So steakhouse burger mean a little bit more bite to it. So we've got some truffle mayo, some mushrooms, and a little Swiss cheese.
All right, and Tiffany, how about you? What do you have over here?
I'm all about the smash burger. I like it crispy, griddled onions, good smash burger with herb mayo and cheddar cheese.
Fabulous. All right, Joe, you said truffle oil, mushrooms, and then tell me what kind of beef. Like, does it make a difference what you buy?
It does. So I'm a chuck and brisket blend. The brisket makes it a little bit more luxurious. That's right, everybody. Get excited, okay? And I'm also the 3-time New York City Burger Bash champion. So I know how to make a burger, okay? All right? That was my plug. So yes, you could go all chuck, but the brisket kind of helps
Okay.
Make it a little
Is
bit
it like
more
the fat
luxurious.
content or
Yeah,
something?
fat content flavor. Little patty like this. We're gonna go right on a flat top.
So it's not
some
smashed,
salt.
but it is flattened.
It's like half smashed.
Pressed.
It's half smashed. She's gonna go crazy over there with hers, right? We're just gonna press ours a little bit here. We're gonna cook it. I like to cook it to like medium rare, medium. We've got a bunch of them going over here. I've got some Swiss cheese melting
Now, I know
on.
we're inside, but if you have the chance or the choice, griddle or grill?
Always griddle, never grill.
What?
This is all right. Now I'm going to get geeky
Are
on
you
you.
surprised? I'm shocked.
Hold on. The Maillard reaction. Okay? It is
Okay.
the browning of meats. Okay? You caramelize onions and you brown meats. Okay? That's how you create flavor. On the grill, you can't really do it. You can't do it. You can't do it.
And there's the smell of truffle in the
There
right
is.
now.
There is. It's truffle. That's the luxurious side of things. We got a little Parmigiano Reggiano to go with it as well. So, but we're going to get going with this
let's put it
burger.
together.
So I've got the burger cooking. We've got some sautéed mushrooms over here. Cremini mushrooms are best. And now we're going to get to the truffle part. I've got some mayonnaise, a little truffle oil. Don't go crazy with it. Don't go crazy. It's a little overpowering, but it's good. Some lemon juice, some lemon zest.
Because that balances the truffle.
Balance, baby. Life is all about balance, you
Yeah,
know?
it is.
Listen, my wife, she shops at Hermes and I shop at Target. Balance.
And
you
it
know?
averages out.
That's what happens. We have a little horseradish. I love you, honey. I love you. And some sour cream. Oh, I'm in trouble later. I'm in trouble later. Then you're going to whisk all of that together, okay? And you've got the beautiful truffle mayo, truffle aioli, whatever fancy words you want to say.
And here's
We've got
the final
finished one
product.
over there. You can stick your fingers in it. It's
No,
okay.
no, it's- I-
all right.
I
All right,
couldn't
you're gonna put it
possibly.
on
You brought
top
all
of
these
there.
spoons.
We're going to grab this burger with, look at that Swiss cheese.
Oh, that's
melted
nice with the
perfectly.
little.
Huh?
What was it, the Maillard reaction?
Maillard reaction.
The Maillard.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
Physics term
I'm going to
here.
put some mushrooms on top of it.
Sure.
Look, I'm just going to
Yeah,
go like
just do the whole
this.
thing. Go
Look at
crazy.
this, huh? Listen, we got to liven this joint up a little bit.
Yeah.
You guys, let's go.
All right.
Then the last piece of luxury, or one of the final touches, is some shaved Parmigiano
Yes.
Reggiano over the top.
crazy.
I'm going to make it rain. I'm going to make it snow. I'm going to do whatever you want.
Unreal.
And then I'm just going to do one of these.
Oh.
A little truffle oil.
Mr. Target is
eating
going
it?
to Hermes now.
All right.
Okay.
Ginger,
Okay.
why don't you
Hold
eat
on,
that?
Hold on.
Well done. That was very good.
Unbelievable.
That's a great job. All right, so that was the truffle mushroom burger.
Yes,
Now we got
yes.
some smash burgers with
Oh
Tiffany.
my goodness, I love a good truffle burger. All right, so we're going to do some grilled onions because it's nothing like it. So you're just going to take some onions, put it on the grill. This is like easy. This is what you need to do. Take your patty, put it right on top.
Oh,
all right.
Interesting move.
Here we go. This is a pro move here.
Pro move. Well, you are a pro.
I am.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper, okay?
Okay.
Right there. And just smash.
hello.
You want to like smash
Do you
it.
need that special tool?
You absolutely need it. It's
You
got to be that
okay. I
thing.
was
You
hoping
do
you
that?
would say use like a
Up
wine
top.
bottle.
No. And you want to smash it, okay? You want
All
that.
right.
So
Calling
once
Tori
you
Johnson
do that,
for deals and steals.
there you
whatever
go.
that is. We need one of
Smash
these.
that really good. What you end up with is a caramelized onions when you flip that
that's so
over.
nice.
So those onions are going to do their thing.
But like, how do you know when you're going to flip it?
Did you remember that word? What's the word he used?
The Maillard reaction.
All right,
Yes.
so what's
That's
that?
my girl.
There you go. You're gonna have
So when the
brownie.
Maillard reaction has come to a completion, how do you know that?
So we're looking for that golden brown. I want my
Okay.
edges to get crispy. All right. Now I'm gonna slather it with a little bit of garlic.
Nice.
It's like garlic butter. We are layering flavor.
Yep.
So here I have a little herb mayo here. I take my cheddar, I get that
gonna prepare
on.
the herb mayo.
Go
You
ahead,
tell me.
slather it though.
Slather,
Don't be
time to
shy.
slather.
Don't be shy.
Okay.
You can put a pickle right
the
on.
back of the
And I'll
spoon.
pickle
I said don't be shy, but man, you.
That was not shy.
No, you weren't. I gotta be a
too
little more
much.
specific.
And does it matter pickles, dill, or these look like
it.
bread and butter, are they?
They are not.
They're not? Oh.
But they kind of do look like
Oh, we
it.
got the
Yeah.
double.
So we're gonna do double,
All right.
and then we're just gonna simply put that on. Now here is the beauty right here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you cut it in half so Ginger and I can both have a?
Yeah, that's probably the best idea.
Whoa!
That's the money right there, baby. Go ahead.
My mouth is actually watering. This is not a joke. We're gonna try this. Joe ate the other one.
Joe ate all his. Joe, we
got
cook
more.
for others. We cook for others.
I have others. I have more. I come prepared.
You do. I have a full mouth.
That crispy edge is
Yes.
real. But hold on, let me
All right.
just get it.
There you go. See,
so we can
see,
give a little
now we're
taste
gonna get
test.
to it. Listen, I love you. I got nothing but love. This ain't a competition. This is one thing, you know?
You're both fantastic, and with 50 billion burgers eaten a year, there's room for
Four more.
All right, let's
Different
get to
part.
eating.
Yes, and while we do that, and thank you for having a burger bash with us, you can get these burger recipes at goodmorningamerica.com.
You didn't bring any burgers back with you?
Finish them. Oh, wow.